I was watching a podcast and they were talking about what's the best medium to bring a story to life. Is it 2D or real life? Let's not waste any time and get right into it. The main point of adapting a story into a film is making the setting look amazing. More often than not, stories take place in places that don't really exist, like Hogwarts, not a real place. Atlantis, not a real place. Umashu, not a real place. Namek is also not a real place. You see what I'm saying? Making the settings look believable or mildly accurate is hard. Take people who do high school plays. It takes them a couple of days and those trees don't even look like real trees. Imagine how hard it is for people who work on a movie set and the amount of money that is used to make sure that they don't get smoked online when the movie comes out. Then when it comes to animation, you can just hire a good artist to make the background, and it's easier to make drawings that are one-to-one than constructing a whole set. Example, the Star Wars ships don't really exist in real life, the people have to build them. And then when it comes to battles in space, the battles look okay, but they're not really the best. But when it's something like Clone Wars, they look more like what you would expect out of Star Wars, like they're really fighting in space. The spaceships look cool. All the bells and whistles inside the cockpit look amazing. And to me, that looks more appealing because it's more cartoony and they have a lot more freedom to do with what as they like. Next, let's talk about characters. With live action, unless you get the right person and they act right, like an RDJ for Iron Man or a Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool, it's hard to cast the right person because when it comes to comics, you need to make sure the person playing the character matches the energy that you would think the actual character brings to the comics or to the movie if they were real and did it themselves. And it's kind of outlandish to think about because they're not realistic. Because think about it, unless you know a person who talks to the fourth wall and can't die, or a person who like flies around in a suit of armor fighting crime, then it may not be out of the norm for you, but to me it is. Also with manga, it's hard to copy and paste to the source material because when it comes to something like One Piece, if you know One Piece, the characters look outlandish, and if you look like these characters, I would exit life today because these people look crazy. When the live action goes deeper in the story, getting people to fit the role, even the costumes, it would be hard because characters are 22 feet tall, upper body, and always skip leg day. Also, powers are hard to make like the way people would want to see them because, again, for One Piece, it's like they have goofy powers like making slow beams, being rubber, or like being able to detach parts of their body. It looks wild and it's hard to make them look like they're actually happening without looking cringe. With animation, anything is really possible. The characters can look as goofy as you want them, and the powers look more, the word I would use is realistic or better in an animated form. Now let's talk about fights. When you read a story, you have to imagine the sword slashes, the blood, the anger, the aura that the characters have in your mind. With animation, those visuals can be more exaggerated because they have more freedom to do with like what they want. Unless you are me and you can visibly make aura leak off you. Also, the whole fluttering in the air when characters see some cheeks, this doesn't happen in real life, and if it were to happen in live action, everyone would cringe. But if it's animated, it's goofy and looks less cringe. Then the choreography. This is difficult to pull off because like we have limitations as people. Like if we take Power Rangers for example, their fights look like completely fake, and I know that's a bad example, but think about it. People have limits. We can't do a triple back handspring while shooting and dodging bullets. I know they have cables for stuff like that, but you need to make it look good. Example is like Black Panther. Like they have a good action scenes, they look awesome. But when it comes to animation, the action scenes have more freedom to be exuberant, move faster, the energy, the sparks can be seen more visually, like with Chakra and Naruto. Could you imagine some dude charging Chakra? If it's not done on point, then the Naruto fanboys are going to be down their throat. Well, at the end of the day, both mediums are hit or miss, and we can all agree that when the adaptations are done right, they are fire. But in my personal opinion, I think animation is better because of the freedom they get to express the emotion, to like make characters look like goofy, make characters look more accurate, to have like all the powers looking the way it's supposed to. If you have another opinion, type it down in the comments, and that's all for now, folks.